Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Nerd Culture, the Sons of Glitches podcast. We've got a full house tonight. We've got John, we've got Remy, we've got Neil, we've got me, I'm Mike, and we're going to talk about all sorts of nerdy shit.
Because that's what we do.
It's almost like it's in the title. And I tell you, it feels good to be back from doing good to do really a greater good by recording this for all of you.
Yeah, Johnny.
So John, let's talk about what you were actually doing last podcast.
Well, it wasn't. In spite of what the popular opinion is at the strip club, but what in fact
the youth strip club.
That's right.
Oh my God.
I have a weekly event that I work with youth in the local area, just to give them an outlet and let them come together and do some activities and kind of have some fellowship together. That's maybe more productive than other things they could be doing.
That's awesome, dude.
Like going
really
to the
is,
youth
and
strip
that's
club,
actually
less productive.
I mean,
hey,
I'm not
that
saying I'm a
depends on
hero,
who you
but
are.
others have. So we'll go with that.
I just let other people call me a hero, right?
Maybe you do have a soul after all, fucking ginger.
Maybe. Maybe. The jury's out.
Mike's all. I gotta knock his ego down a peg. Hold on a second.
Hey, listen. I got a reputation to maintain. All right.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
So
Not saying don't do it.
I can't pour vinegar all over everybody without giving them a little spoonful of sugar.
That's true.
That's all I'm saying.
It helps the medicine.
So, but really quick, I thought it'd be apropos. After we talked about it last podcast, we spent a lot of time on Captain Marvel and the MCU and Marvel versus DC and all that shit. So I don't want to rehash that whole conversation. But
Sure.
since the last podcast got recorded and came out, Captain Marvel has actually been released. We've all seen it, and I wanted to, without getting too spoilery, get everybody's sort of hot take on the movie and what we think it's probably going to mean for Endgame that's coming out here pretty shortly. So,
God, I can't wait.
I know, me too, man.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
Neil couldn't keep that one contained. Oh, can't wait.
So, Remy, you're the one who sounds like he's, well, let's be honest, kind of on the verge of some sort of horrible climax over this. So I'll let you
I'm
go.
well past that verge.
Oh God.
Anyway,
okay. You go first. Let's have Remy go first, and he can unload, so to speak.
Ooh.
And thank you. That's the correct noise. And then we can kind of go from there. So Remy, what's your take on where things are at right now?
dude. Okay, so as far as Captain Marvel is concerned, as far as the movie is concerned, when I first saw it, I was kind of just whelmed. I wasn't overwhelmed. I wasn't underwhelmed. It was just a movie. But the more I thought about it, the more I enjoyed it. I had a hell of a time. It was fun. It was silly. It hit all the right notes as far as I'm concerned. I'm a huge Carol Danvers fan. I love all of her iterations. Binary, Warbird. She's a fucking beast. She's awesome. So seeing her on the big screen was it was a treat. And I don't know if this is too spoilery or not, but I did not expect to actually see a Flurgan. That blew my mind. I thought it was just going to be a little Easter egg, like, oh, here's the cat. But no, it's a fucking Flurgan. It's awesome.
MVP of the movie. Goose is the movie's MVP, hands down.
And I kind of wish they hadn't changed his name from the comics to the movie, but I understand why they did. So, well, that's my take. I really enjoyed myself. It's just a fun roller coaster ride from start to finish. It's just good times.
I think you hit some of it on the head for me as well. It was just fun. Because if you start to go too deep into that movie, it's kind of parts of it fell apart for me. Like there were some high strong suits, but I think she went warp speed at the end, and that kind of confused me. And then there's the whole thing with the thing on the neck that kind of was like, okay, so does that thing just go off when she has emotion? But I don't know. There was some stuff that they seemed to establish, but then not pay off too much.
No, that was a control node.
Yeah, it just kind of confused me because sometimes it would control her, other times it was just like, oh no, she can use all of her abilities forever. So I don't know.
Well,
There were some things like that kind of were weird, but honestly, like you said, it was overall just a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was just a good ride. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Oh, good.
John,
ride.
what about you?
Yeah, so my 2 cents, and I did like it. It's not my favorite MCU movie, but it's not anywhere towards the bottom. Looking at you, Iron Man 3. So,
Yeah, really.
but overall, I
It-
enjoyed it. I felt like that was probably introducing. I don't necessarily love. We're not going too deep into spoilers here, but I don't necessarily love that they felt like they needed to have the Tesseract involved at all. Right? That whole swing, and it really changed the whole origin story from what it was in the comics. I didn't love that because I was a fan. As Remy said, I'm a fan of actually the story of Miss Marvel, Binary, Warbird, Captain Marvel. The whole line, and it was odd to me that they decided to do that instead of just leaving it alone. I maybe understand why, but at the same time, if I had a change that I would suggest, it would be that.
Right.
But the movie was fun. The action was great. Highly recommend.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So,
And Mike?
well, I mean, and this is not a criticism exactly. It felt like the original Thor to me. That's
Which,
the movie.
by the way, I loved.
I
the original Thor.
I like the original Thor a lot too, but it had the feel of one of the Marvel Origins movies for obvious reasons, because it was one. Here's the weird thing about it, is that every other movie we've gotten that is technically an origin movie. So Black Panther, is that an origin film? Well, not really, because we saw him in Civil War. So we already knew the character, right? T'Challa's already established. We know who he is. We've seen a little tiny piece of Wakanda in that movie. So this felt very disjointed from the rest of the MCU from a continuity standpoint for me. Now I understand why they had to do it that way.
Right.
But it felt disjointed in the larger context of the MCU. That being said, the movie itself I thought was a lot of fun. I thought it was, for the most part, well acted. I thought it was, as all the MCU movies are, really well done when it comes to the action and effects and that kind of stuff, and driving the story
Yeah, it
forward.
was beautiful.
It was really, really well done. I think they did a really nice job. I mean, fucking Annette Bening is the Supreme Intelligence is just one of my favorite things ever. It just like so unnerving and creepy. That was perfect casting. But I mean, I would say it's solidly in the middle of the pack for the MCU movies.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And I think Brie Larson did a very good job in what's ultimately a pretty tough role, because she didn't have, from a character standpoint, she just didn't have as much to work with as somebody like Robert Downey Jr. playing Iron Man or Chris Evans playing Captain America. There's just not as much. There's not as much meat on the bones the way that character was written in the movie for her to get into. She did the.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
I thought she did the flippant lines and stuff very well, like the sort of the snappy dialogue, like when she's interacting with that cop after she falls through the blockbuster, like with that kind of scene, she did really, really well. There were some emotional notes that she tried to hit that didn't resonate with me, just because we don't have time in with that character.
Right.
But all up, I would say it's a solid B+, A-.
That's not a bad grade.
No, and I really like the first post-credit scene a lot. I thought that was really ballsy of them, without spoiling anything. Anybody who's seen the movie knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
For it to just be like, oh, okay, this is where we're going, and we're going here right now. Okay, all right, I'm with you.
So now that we've wrapped up our Captain Marvel review,
Well, I have
as
a
it
quick
were.
question before we wrap
Yeah,
up.
sure.
Sorry, I was trying to get it in a couple times. So did they ever actually do a title card on the screen that said it was 1995?
No.
I don't recall. I think
No,
they
they
no. I
didn't.
think they said the year.
No, I think
I think
somebody
they
may have
said
said
the
it,
year.
but I just was curious because in past things they've done what was the name of Black Panther started off? It was like 1996, and it
Yeah.
established it was in Los Angeles. But they put it like text on the screen for that. In Captain Marvel, what they decided to do was drop her into a blockbuster. So that way every person in the world, like every person in the US anyway, knew around what time that had to have been.
Oh yeah, it was very obvious.
Right, you knew it was the mid '90s. She blows through a True Lies poster, right?
Yeah, that helps too.
She's falling into a blockbuster video. TLC's Waterfalls plays at one point,
and she's wearing grunge. Yeah, she's
exactly.
It's very '90s.
I
know, but the specific year, I was just curious.
Well, I'm back in freshman year of high school. Jesus Christ, my feels.
I mean, she went to a payphone, for crying out loud.
Right.
That tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, I guess this is kind of spoilery, but I'm just curious if any of you guys caught. Maybe speak up for like a minute and a half if you don't want to know this, but if anybody caught Stanley's cameo, what he was reading.
Yes, he was reading the script from Mallrats.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
That was
such
great,
a
yeah.
Kevin Smith's reaction to that was pretty badass.
Because that was one of his earliest cameos in a movie. This is like just showing up in a random movie as a cameo. Was in Mallrats, and is almost his nod back of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna cameo your movie into my cameo. It was kind of weird. It was kind of awesome though.
Pretty fucking meta. Remy, you were about to take us to a different place. Where were you taking us?
I want to take us to some predictive territories.
Okay.
For Endgame. This doesn't have a whole lot to do with Captain Marvel, but it does lead us into the greater MCU. So, we've got a lot of sequels on the horizon as far as the Marvel movies are concerned. We've got Black Panther, we've got Spider-Man, we've got now a Disney property, X-Men is coming, Phoenix. But
Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah, exactly, which has James Gunn back. Woo! So the characters that have movies coming are all dusted, right?
Yep.
Yes.
So after I came up with this theory, I did a little bit of digging. Other people have certainly come across it before, but it's really interesting to me because Phoenix was supposed to have come out a few weeks back, but they pushed it. I think that they pushed it for a reason because I think that everybody that got dusted is in another universe, one of the mini multiverse, and that universe is going to have the X-Men in it. And I think it might actually have the Fantastic Four as well. We talked about that last time. Mm-hmm. But I think that people that died didn't die. They got transferred to this other universe where the X-Men are involved because they've all got sequels. They're all going to survive, and everyone that stayed behind are the people that are going to die. Because those are all the actors from the OG Avengers, and they are ready to retire. I think there are a few left over that want to stick around. I think Captain Marvel, Ant-Man, Hulk, and Black Widow are all going to find themselves somehow in the what do they call it in Ant-Man? The
Quantum realm.
Fuck, what's it called? Thank you. The Quantum Realm. And that small grouping is going to end up in the now MCU, the new universe that everyone else is in. And everyone else is just going to kind of exist where they currently are, and that's my thought. And what do you guys think?
Remy, the alignment there does make a lot of sense. I have assumed since it happened, because of the actors or heroes that were left behind and those that were dusted, was the ones that are left now won't be left after Endgame, but the ones that were dusted will be back somehow. It's interesting. It's interesting to slide them over to a parallel universe because we have the multiverse.
Yeah.
I mean that's a staple of Marvel since the beginning.
Oh yeah.
That's interesting, and I'm actually tending to agree with it now that I look at it. With the Disney purchase actually going through now, pushing back Dark Phoenix. I mean, the stars are aligning.
Yeah, it just makes sense. And I think at the end of Endgame or Phoenix, we're going to see an after credits scene that is going to just tie it all in together. And it's going to be fucking awesome to finally have the X-Men where they fucking belong.
So to contrast, to kind of play devil's advocate, I think the biggest reason,
always devil's advocate.
I think the biggest reason that they delayed the X-Men movie is so it doesn't compete with the Endgame movie as much. because that's been a series that's been troubled with success, and there's a lot of hesitation about how good the Dark Phoenix movie is going to be and all that sort of stuff. So I think that they're like, well, if we're going to make our money back on this film for producing it already, it needs to release later in the year. It needs to release away from Endgame on its own. And maybe you're partially right, but I think that move is more of a financial one.
I don't know, because it was supposed to have come out last month.
I know.
In February.
I'm aware.
And that would have given plenty of breathing room between that and Avengers.
And now it's
but
going to
not
be
that
competing with
Marvel.
Shazam, so let's be real here.
Dude, actually, that looks fucking great.
Dude, I'm totally going to see
fun.
it. I'm totally going to see it. Yeah, let's don't pretend.
So
Superhero big. I love it.
I really want to agree with you and John on this one, Remy. Like, my heart says yes.
Let's give in to the dark side.
I would love to agree with you on it. Here, I see a bunch of problems with it, though. So there's two issues with it. One is ownership and one is time. So there has not been. I can't see the retooling that would be necessary on the practical side, on the contractual side, and on the licensing side between Fox and Disney and everything. That merger, like that acquisition, literally just got finalized. There are certain things you cannot do prior to that. So I have a really hard time envisioning that we're going to see an X-Men tie-in with the MCU or a Fantastic Four tie-in with the MCU that early. Right?
I don't think it's going to be a genuine tie-in. I think we're going to see an after-credits scene. Something that is very simple, very short, it's very easy to film. Something that just says, oh, hey, by the way, this is the universe they are now in.
Maybe. But I still think it's too early. And I also think that you guys are...
Time shall tell.
You guys are coming at this. You guys are coming at this from the point of, like we all are, the point of view of fans of the comics. You've got to remember that the concept of a multiverse, per se, the way it exists in Marvel, is going to be pretty confusing to your average moviegoer who hasn't read the comics.
I actually
Right,
disagree
so-
really
with
think
you
so?
on that.
You don't-
We've seen enough of the multiverse, different dimension stuff in pop culture and movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, but to not tee it up at all ahead of this, I think that strikes me as a risky move that a studio exec, even a guy like Kevin Feige, would probably not want to do.
So we're talking risky moves. Avengers Infinity War.
Yep.
Pulled one of the riskiest moves they possibly could have, and everybody fucking loved it. They killed off the vast majority of their heroes.
Okay, hold on. Time out. So, shocking you and I aren't seeing eye to eye on this.
No, right?
Here's what happened in my house, because my wife and I didn't get to see that movie in the theater for a bunch of reasons. I'm still pissed about that.
Children.
So, yeah, basically, yeah. There's three of them, and they're all a pain in the
There are
ass.
3 reasons.
All those reasons are really annoying. One of them bites people.
I like that he doesn't tell which one that is.
They don't need that. They don't need that baggage. But
I mean,
so
I just meant age-wise. But
after-
yes, you're right.
after the end of that movie, we had the same reaction that everybody else had, which was, what just fucking happened? So we picked our jaws up off the floor, and the first thing out of my wife's mouth was, well, there's no way that stands. And I looked over at her and I said, money? And she goes, money.
Nice.
Because the simple fact is, let me get this straight. You're going to kill off Doctor Strange, you're going to kill off Black Panther, you're going to kill off Spider-Man, you're going to kill off half the Guardians of the Galaxy. So that's how many billions of dollars worth of money that you're just going to pour gas on and set on fire. Give me a fucking break.
Well, and they had already announced sequels to
exactly. So we know it's bullshit.
So it was a boneheaded move.
Right. It's not a risky move. So
well,
yeah, I agree.
See now, what I would love to have seen is, and we could still, but I would love to have seen them actually pull through with that and actually stick to their guns with this. Because with Spider-Man, you've got Miles Morales as a backup. With the Guardians, you've got a whole other team that we've already seen.
And honestly, you could say the next Spider-Man movie happened between Homecoming and Endgame, or
for
sure. Absolutely.
No, not happening.
100% could. But regardless, we've got Miles Morales to fall back on. For Black Panther, Shuri in the comics, she dons the suit. We don't know what happened to her. There are so many outs that they could have taken with all of those characters. I would love to see that. They won't, but 100% they could do that. They could pull the rug out from under us like nobody's business, and it would be
sure they could.
Brilliant.
And you are absolutely right. That'd be great. It'd be amazing. I would love it if they would do it. They're never going to do it in a million years.
They're not going to do it.
Here's
that.
I will bet you guys. Well, not anything under the sun, but
come on, bring it.
So Remy, I will.
Yes.
I will bet. The next time you and I actually see each other in person after Infinity War, or after Endgame rather, I'll bet you a round of whatever beverage you choose. That because what they did tee up is the Time Stone. What they did tee up is Doctor Strange.
That seems like such an easy out.
It is an easy out.
You say that, but
I'm sorry.
They also called this next movie Endgame.
I know.
Yeah, and he said we're in the Endgame now. The next movie's called Endgame. I mean, wouldn't we have to be like? Look, I trust Marvel. I know they're smart. I know they've done stuff we haven't expected in the past, but there's no way that they're going to build up that. They're going to show the usage of the Time Stone. They're going to have it mentioned. They're going to position it. They're going to everything that they teed up in Infinity War, everything with the stones and everything about how that works. The theory that you put forth ignores a ton of that, and I just can't imagine.
Which is why it's brilliant.
It is brilliant, but they're not going to do it, dude. I'm sorry, they're just not. Okay, you got to let it go. It's not going to happen.
I will not let it go.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing.
Oh, go ahead, John.
I was going to say, Mike, and you could be very well right, too. But at the same time, we're not going to go see Captain America 72 in 2057. Okay? Eventually, these characters are going to die off.
Yeah, they will.
They're going to run out of steam,
by the way,
and there's no reason why that time can't be now and usher in a whole other realm of heroes we've not even seen yet.
Yeah,
okay,
dude,
there's no reason it can't be today.
I do want to point out. I do want to
John
point out.
John sounds like he's running for president.
He really does. But
he's like, you
make Marvel great again.
Oh Jesus, God in heaven, John! If you were to dye your beard and hair brown, I'll vote for you. I'm not putting somebody with no soul in the White House. We've seen how that works, and it doesn't go well. Here's where I think you guys are correct. I think Captain America, Iron Man, maybe Thor, and one or two other players TBD are dead at the end of the next movie. I do agree with that.
100%.
But I don't think it's going to have anything. I think the multiverse push you guys are putting forth, I think that's in the cards. I think it's coming. I just don't think it's happening now. But are you correct about the fact that like we know Chris Evans wants to go do other stuff. We know Robert Downey Jr. wants to go do other stuff. There's real world factors here that are being like.
Does he?
Yeah, I think he does. I think he does.
That man has an Iron Man license plate on his car, dude. I don't know if he wants to do other stuff.
I could see if they don't go the direction we're talking about right now, I could see him becoming director of S.H.I.E.L.D., which he does in the comics, and being the Nick Fury of the future movies.
Yeah, popping in for 5 minutes and collecting $1 million here and there. Yeah,
right, exactly.
Yeah, but there's just too much that. I mean, it's going to be a long movie. The Russos have already come out and said that, right? It's going to be like
Dude,
three.
I want it to be like 5 hours.
plus-
I'm good with it.
3+
I'll
hours.
sit-
Dude, give me a Gandhi length MCU movie. I'll fap in the theater. I want that. I really do.
Let it be noted, I'm not sitting next to Mike.
Right.
Yeah, please don't.
Just throwing it out there.
And if you do, just watch your eyes. But
Or your blanket.
yeah.
I just imagine Remy going, 45 minutes in, the prologue ends.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's when you get the title card.
So, but anyway, the thing that I am most interested to see is what does the MCU look like at the end of that movie? Because I mean,
It's gonna be in shambles.
that is absolutely, because here's the thing that's most exciting to me, regardless of who's right, me, not you guys.
Fuck off.
Was that a chicken?
Sorry.
Do you have a chicken on the boat now?
Oh my God! Okay, no, I got our next topic right after this, but
Jesus.
so because that noise reminded me of something else I wanted to talk about.
Oh, Lord.
But whoever's,
I don't know where this is going.
One crazy night in Vegas.
John knows where it's going.
All right, go on.
The
Oh,
place
I know
where
where it's
we will
going now.
wind up here is going to be fucking awesome no matter what, because
Oh,
they're
fuck
gonna
yeah, dude.
they're gonna have the opportunity to just go wherever they want.
Balls
This
to
is
the wall,
the
man.
end,
I'm excited.
end of the phase. We've got new properties. We've got a whole bunch of shit we licensed to Fox that we've now got back. Let's go to fucking town, and I think it's going to be amazing.
Oh man.
Let's get a
No
new
doubt.
Howard the Duck movie made.
They can-
Oh yes, Howard the Duck. Pay off
They
that
teased
fucking
him
end credit scene.
in the yeah, that's right.
Oh man.
I think you might be the only person I've heard be excited about a Howard the Duck film.
Yeah, you know what sarcasm is, right?
No, I think Mike actually might be excited, but
I would.
Oh, all right.
What you wouldn't you wouldn't watch that? I would watch the shit out of that movie. What are you kidding?
point made.
If they did it, if they did it properly,
Yeah.
So-
No, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Remy, I do think you're right in a sense. I think they will tie in the X-Men and possibly other heroes coming across from a different multiverse, but I don't think it's going to be, oh, now the rest of our story resides in that other universe where all these people went. I think they're going to bring everyone back to this universe, but they're also going to possibly bring back other heroes. But who knows? I could be wrong on that.
That
as
could
long
be
as we get
interesting.
as long as we get Deadpool in the MCU somehow.
It's
Oh
yeah,
man,
it's happening.
there's a post-credit scene for you.
Oh God!
Oh,
just
Jesus.
just Ryan Reynolds popping up at the end of Endgame, just going, "What the fuck was that?" You know.
And
So, but
there's
I
the one
do wanna-
F-bomb in the entire movie, right?
Exactly right. I do want to shift gears though over to
Chickens.
Chickens in the sense that you can be turned into them, and the noise
Yep,
that John
yeah.
makes when he gets clucked.
Oh, there's a noise. I didn't realize that.
There's a noise. So
Did
John
you
and I
say
got
when he
turned-
gets clucked?
when he gets
Oh,
that's
cluck
the
off.
term. So that's the cluck you. That's the term
Episode title.
for what happens in this game. So John and I got introduced to Realm Royale by
So we've heard.
okay, yeah, I know. A couple of other people in our glitches community. Much love to you guys. Thank you. You guys
It's
rock.
called a cult.
Yeah, you guys are
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
awesome.
The cult of glitch. And so this game is sort of halfway. I'll call it an accessible battle royale. Inaccessible in the sense that Fortnite and Apex are kind of not. Those are more trial by fire. This is more. I feel like I could walk over those hot coals a little bit. And it's challenging, but it's not brutally so. And you can sort of hop in and play around and do okay. But when you get killed, for the first time, you don't die. You turn into a chicken, and then you run around for
Naturally.
about 15. It's over the top and silly. It's one of the things I love about the game. It's like 15, 20 seconds, you run around making chicken noises as a chicken, trying to escape getting killed a second time. And if you get killed while you're a chicken, you die. John, I would like you now to do the noise that you do when you get clucked in Realm Royale.
So
I almost want to say he should save it, and you have to tune in for that.
No,
Well,
you
here's the
should do
thing.
it.
I'm gonna
You should do
appease
it
both
now.
of you. I'm gonna appease both of you. How about that? So
Okay.
you've mentioned this a few times already, and I had no idea you were going to try to get me to do it for the world to see here. But here's the thing. Now that you said that I do it, I don't know what sound it is. I can't think. I can't register in my mind.
All right. So,
Mike,
I will...
something you got to know about John, real quick, is I've known him for a long time. If you call him out on something he does, that's the end of it. Period.
Yeah.
You will never see or hear that again.
No, this isn't calling out. I'm not calling him out. I'm just applauding him for something that I find endearing and adorable.
I'm scared to say, Mike, that you'll never hear this noise again because now I have to think about it before I make it another time.
God fucking damn it! All right, so allow
here,
me then.
Remy, do me a favor.
Yeah.
If it's up to you, the very ending is up to you. Go back to one of those streams, find it, splice it in right now.
Don't think for a second that I'm not going.
Clip it.
Oh yeah.
Put it in.
Yep. This is. Put it up there on community clips. This is out there for everybody to see. It's on Twitch. So twitch.tv/Ghostwriter.
Sons of Glitches Ghostwriter.
Sons of Glitches Ghostwriter or / Sons of Glitches _Wolf, and you will find a video of it. And I will do for you now my impression of John when he gets clucked in Battle Royale. Well, I'll tell the story. So. We've never played this game before. We're running around, having a good time. We're going, oh, cool, you can do that. Oh, cool, look at this thing. Oh, this is kind of fun. And we run it. We get into a fight, and John's like, oh, they're shooting at me. They're shooting at me. And then sorry, John, that's a terrible impression of you, I know. But then he gets chickened, and I just hear through my headset, and I just
wait, is this like something he does without realizing it?
No, well, what he's doing is he's singing a little chicken song to himself while he's running around.
Oh shit, that's amazing.
And man, it was the greatest thing I've ever fucking heard. It was so spectacular.
This is honestly news to me as well.
It was amazing.
Oh, fuck, I cannot wait to play this with you guys on Tuesday. I am so excited.
Oh, it's going to
so
be incredible.
Fun.
It is so fun. And really the point of all this is a game that everyone should check out. It's free. It's on multiple platforms. Yep. If you like Fortnite, if you like Apex, this is a superior version, dare I say, to all of the above.
It is much more accessible and much more fun. Like all that sort of try-hardy rage that you see people like stressing out about in Fortnite and Apex and that kind of shit. I just don't feel that in this game because the whole the way it's structured, it's so lighthearted and it's so over the top and silly in a sense that you can't help but kind of it's like I can't get pissed when I die because I'm running around as a chicken.
It does soften the blow, doesn't it?
Yeah,
honestly,
it really
that
does.
was the original attraction to the to Fortnite early on when it was more basic. A lot of people didn't know what they were doing in that game. Like, you die in that, it's a lot of times because a shock trap killed you when you walked into the bathroom. Like, stuff like that.
Man,
dude, that's a throwback there.
Hell, you know what I mean, though? Like, the deaths were, like, ridiculous and silly, usually. And it makes this noise, like, after you die. Like, it still does that. But, I think as that game progressed, like, people got real good at it. And a lot of times you die from a shot halfway across the map without ever seeing the person, a la PUBG. Yeah. And it's kind of lost some of that flair. So I'm wondering if Realm Royale's picked up that.
My biggest thing with both of the major battle royales now, which is still Fortnite and now Apex as well. They're both kind of eating from the same cake. I played Fortnite from season 1, and at that time, you get in a firefight with somebody. Maybe, I mean, it was. Remy, you can back me up on this because we played together. But maybe, they would throw up a wall, right? A wall. And then the fight continues. You can move around the wall. You can shoot down the wall. Whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, for protection.
Yeah,
that was it.
Now I think we're in season 8 now. I don't even fucking know. But regardless, now you see a guy and the Taj Mahal appears in front of you.
No,
and
dude,
it's just
not
like
the Taj Mahal.
What?
It's
so
the
like it's
Goblin
so
King's
stupid.
Labyrinth from the movie Labyrinth. That's what pops up there.
It's like
good movie.
And if you can't do that, or if you like my fingers can't even move that fast. Never mind like make a cohesive building that large. And I'm not kidding, right?
Yeah.
Literally these structures are complex.
No, it's ridiculous.
They're huge, and like I'm
have
just standing
secret
there, just
passageways.
with shit running down the back of my leg because
secret passages. Well, like, here's the thing, though. I think a lot of these people that are doing this have literally trained themselves. As soon as they see somebody, they, like, pull into their shell. You know what I mean? Like, that's that kind of game. That's what that game has become.
Yeah,
so,
it's
like,
reactive.
they immediately, instead of pulling out their gun, they, like, just literally do the quick circle to build that wall there, and they build a ramp immediately, and they back to another circle, and then wall ramping, and suddenly they've got this tower on you that's,
Right.
was built in 5 seconds.
yeah,
And it's because that's what all they centered that first 5 seconds to do.
yeah.
I don't know. It just doesn't become. It becomes a building game, not a battle game.
Yeah, it lost its fun pretty quick.
Well, Fortnite is unique because it has the building mechanic. I have a much harder time articulating why Apex has that same stressful feel for me.
I did not enjoy myself at all in that game.
Neither did I, and it's bugging me. And I've talked with some of our Xbox Clan members about this. I've talked with a couple of other streamers about this. I cannot explain to anybody rationally why I don't like that game. There's no one thing about it. I don't like the way it feels. I don't like the way it plays.
Which is crazy because it's very Titanfall, but it's
I'm
not.
pretty sure I know what it is. It comes down to the gunplay and the way you look around and all that stuff feels like Titanfall, except your ground speed and movement. So
Well, yeah, and you can't do any of the cool shit you can do in Titanfall.
you can
Yeah,
climb a wall
maybe.
vertically and stuff like that, and you have your abilities and such like that. So, but it's a more grounded version of Titanfall without Titans and without the wall running that makes it a signature. Now, don't get me
Right.
wrong. I like the gunplay in Titanfall, just the gunplay alone. I think the guns have very good feelings on them and stuff like that. And I think it's interesting that you can make them into categories like sniper rifle, assault rifle, machine gun, shotgun, stuff like that, and still have each one within those groups feel fairly unique. But I think the reason Titanfall is so great is if you get in a fight that you're not prepared for, you have the movement on your side. If you're good at the movement, you can lean into that. And then you also have your one ability, which is like the warp or something like that. And none of
Well,
those are
yeah,
quite
and
the same
there are
there.
also bombardments of missiles from the sky and shit like that just it feels unbalanced. Regardless of the fact that everybody has an ability of some sort, it feels super unbalanced because you don't know what you're gonna come up against.
Well, you don't, because you guys played about an hour of it. To be fair, no, I'm not trying to.
So
I'm not
fair
trying to be like, hey, you didn't give it a fair shot. I'm just legitimately I think the more you learn that, it's like, oh, it's the bombardment. I know how to deal with this.
No, I played
right,
more
fair
than an
enough.
hour of it. I played three
okay.
or four. I played 3 or 4 hours of it. But I
did
think
not.
I think you're probably onto something, Neil, with the movement piece. But I mean, and I will put parentheses around what I'm about to say and preface it by saying this is my own personal brand of crazy at play here. Aesthetics in games go a long way for me. And if I don't like the way that something looks, I kind of can't, and this is going to sound really dumb, a big part of the problem I have with Apex is I think all the characters look stupid. And I can't, and I know you can't see them while you're playing. I know you can't, I know you can't see, it's not third
But
person.
it
You can't
stays in
see
the back
yourself.
of your head. I look
But
real dumb right now.
Always in the back of my mind, I'm running around and I'm like, God, this character looks douchey. I can't believe I'm inhabiting this character. I think it looks so dumb. It just like it, and I can't get around that. And Remy, when you were talking about we were talking about the Fantastic Four last podcast. Do you know here's the really, really, really dumb reason that I don't like the Fantastic Four?
You don't
I
like their
think
costumes.
I think their costumes suck. And
All right. Well, you haven't seen all of them, to be fair.
Very fair.
Actually,
very fair.
since John's here, John Hickman's run on Fantastic Four, good or bad?
Yeah, amazing, dude. You don't have to convince
Okay,
me of
thank you.
Fantastic
Okay.
Four. That's the first family, baby. I'm with you. You don't have to convince me.
A quick question, Remy. Do you know what he is doing right now?
John Hickman? No, I don't.
They just announced he's coming back to Marvel, and I believe he's doing X-Men.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Oh
I
fuck!
believe that's
yes.
what I heard.
Dude, I'm excited
To
to
let you know
hear
about that.
that.
Anyways,
If
go
that
on.
is-
What were you
before-
saying about Hickman's
Yeah,
run?
go on.
Before we jump down another Marvel hole, which we're teetering on the edge of,
Oh my.
I did want to share, and this may be something that everyone can appreciate, except for the people that I'm going to specifically talk about right here, why I think that Apex isn't our favorite game. Right? I think Neil likes it the best out of all of us, and that's fine. But to me, so I played Apex the first day at launch. I saw that it came out, and I downloaded it, and I played it, and I got a win. Very first day. Then I have children and a wife and a job, and I didn't play for about 6 days. When I came back, I could not look at a person without dying because so many people jumped into that game immediately, and so many people got so good at it immediately. Like I would see, because you get little cards in the game, right? People that played know. You get little cards that give you your stats. 1 week into the game, I was getting killed by people that had 1,200 kills already.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts.
See, and that's the crux of being old.
Well,
It's not even being old.
I would actually say it's not that. I would say that it is the fact that this game does not have a matchmaking.
Well, that's where I was going. That's exactly where I was going, Neil. So
Yeah.
what happens is because I hadn't played in a week, and because everyone else on the planet Earth that had downloaded the game had been playing all week with no sleep and no eating and no shitting and no showering, right? Because of that,
And let's not forget, no fucking.
no fucking,
Jesus
yes,
Christ, John.
yeah. Most
Oh, no,
important.
they
Well,
were
that goes
they were
without
getting
saying.
fucked.
That goes without saying.
But by
But
other
regardless,
players online.
regardless, what would happen
Not the good
was
kind.
is when I would go into a game of 100 people, I was probably one of the bottom 5 or 10 people on every map. And the odds of me running into someone who was lower on that list, it's about 4%. That's simple math. Can everyone keep up with it? I hope so. Right?
Gee, wow.
I'm lost.
John's
And
getting
what-
sassy.
And what ends up happening is you only play against the better people. And because of that, you don't actually get any practice. It's not like games where you respawn, right? In games where you respawn, you come back, you try again, you find out what works, you practice. In a Battle Royale game, when you die, you're just dead. The game's over,
And it takes 5 minutes to get into another one.
Right, and so you don't really have a chance to practice. You don't really have a chance to see what guns feel good because you're playing against people who are vastly superior to you in every way because they've had the time to put into it. So if you don't have every waking hour of every waking day to play Apex, you're not going to be good at it. So don't. That's John's review of Apex Legends. Thank you.
And when I say that that's the crux of getting old is because we have full-time jobs, we have families, we have lives. We don't have
but
time to
here's the
commit
thing,
to.
though. You can, if you play a game of Halo, and you can play like one game a week, and you're not really getting all that much better because you're not putting that time in.
Yeah.
You'll get match made with other people that are in that same.
Oh, no,
bracket, so you can have
absolutely,
matches. So that's what I'm
absolutely
saying
true.
about the matchmaking thing is like they just throw everybody in there, and so the top 10% of players are always the last 10% or almost always the last 10% of players. No, every now and then you can catch somebody out of position or something like that. In
Somebody
a
that's
good
been hiding in
compromised
a hole.
position, so you can you can get a kill on somebody who would normally have killed you on a fair one-on-one fight. But generally speaking, you're going to have with a random drawing of the players, you're going to have your normal bronze, silver, gold, and whatever platinum, however the heck other games would rank it. Those platinum players are generally gonna come up on top, whatever percentage that is. Usually it's one or two teams, and that's every one of them. And so if you're not
Right.
that group of people, you just keep getting your butt whooped with the same groups, and it's very, very difficult to win. I've found.
Correct.
But
Well,
what I said also stands because those people that are in the top 10% that you keep referring
I
to
agree.
are the people that don't necessarily have full-time jobs or families or kids.
My point
or
isn't
anything
that.
of
I'm just
nature.
saying other games they implement a matchmaking, whereas I think this one
for sure.
should do a similar thing with like numbers of wins in this game. And I think that's a very easy metric. It is an easy metric to track, but also it gives you how much experience this person has because
for sure.
you can have person A who's put 10 hours in and person B who's put 2 hours in. If both of them have 2 wins in those amount of games, they're probably roughly around the same caliber of player at that point.
Yeah,
They have the
absolutely.
same amount of wins.
It's inaccessible
Well,
to new players.
To bring this back around to a couple of things, and then Remy, you raise an interesting point there that I think might be a good way to close out the podcast. But to bring this back around full circle to Realm. So Realm Royale has. So Realm has, because of the mechanics in that game, because of things, I mean, as funny as it is, the chicken mechanic makes that game more forgiving. So if you get jumped, you have a chance to get away. After 15, 20 seconds, you come back to life with like 2/3 of your health, and you got a chance to keep fighting. You can.
Oh, so you don't have to get revived?
Nope.
It's
No,
the equivalent of being
You just have to
knocked
stay
down.
alive
and-
until the timer runs out, and you're back.
Right,
Yeah,
and
it's the
even
equivalent of being knocked down in Fortnite or other Battle Royale games.
Well, no,
Right,
because
and
that you
even
have
if
to
you
get revived in.
even if you get killed completely, even if you, so if you're playing in a squad or duos, if you get killed completely, you can still go to a forge and create a scroll of resurrection and bring your teammate back, even if they're completely dead.
Yep.
So there's a lot of ways in that game to, there's shield mechanics that everybody has access to. There's health potions. There's armor potions. There's survivability mechanics that are easily understandable and easily accessible to everybody in the game. And I think that makes a big difference. But
And more
just-
importantly than that, Mike, and I thought you were going to touch on this, but you didn't, so I'm going to real quick before we move on. Is there's
Sure,
also to my point that my big gripe is with Apex, and really with Fortnite too, because the Taj Mahal builder is the same kind of problem, right? Is that in Realm there's also a ranking system.
Ah.
Yeah.
So
and I think that helps it out probably more than anything else we've talked
Right.
about. I mean, the fun
So
aspect is a
right
big
now,
one,
when you
but-
start out in bronze, okay, and there appears to be 3 levels of each rank. So there's like bronze 3, bronze 2, bronze 1. Then you would advance to silver 3. I don't know what gold or platinum or whatever. I have no idea what the highest one is because I've literally played the game once with Mike, and it was a lot of fun. But when you go into it, you get queued with at least mostly other bronzes.
Yeah.
And so not only is it accessible, not only can you turn into a chicken, not only can you res your players, not only can you whatever, but you're also playing against people who haven't been playing this game, instead of living. So
or have,
Right.
they have a similar skill level as
yeah,
you.
I really can't recommend
Well,
it.
That's awesome. I'm really looking forward to playing this thing. You guys have
Yeah.
definitely sold me on it.
It's a lot of fun. And I mean, I've played 3. I'd say I've spent about 7 or 8 hours in that game at this point. And I've had that one night out with John, and then a couple of nights out with some community members. And every single time, I felt like we were having a good time, but we were also competitive too. I mean, John and I had a couple of games where we finished, second place as a team on our first night out. Second, third place.
Yeah,
We had a
I
couple
watched
where
that.
we
That
were,
was fantastic.
15, 20th as well. My first time out in solo queue in that game, me. And I suck at Battle Royales, okay? Me. I placed third in solo
That's
queue.
awesome.
Like, you can go in there and like, kind of do okay and have fun. And that's the best thing that I can say about that game.
Yep.
The thing is, so we're doing a community night with it coming up with the Glitch Army. I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be a blast.
Yeah.
But Remy, you raised an interesting point that I think is worth talking about for a few minutes here, which is that as adult gamers,
Yep.
there is this huge delta between the kind of games that are being launched and gaining popularity and sort of skyrocketing, the Apexes, the Fortnites. There's a huge amount of games that are coming out that are not really feasible for us to go in and do well at, for all the reasons that John laid out.
Right.
At the same time, we are the portion of the gaming audience that has the most disposable income, but we don't
Yep.
have the most disposable time. So if you're a developer, what are you putting? I mean, part of the reason that I love games like Witcher 3 and Divinity Original Sin 2 that I've talked about before are because I can play them in my own.
Sure.
And I can experience the story in my own time. And somebody else's schedule doesn't affect me. Whether or not I'm online doesn't affect me. There's no competitive element. It's my experience. It's my game. Can we even be competitive? Is guys in their 30s who are sitting here dealing with everything else that life throws at us. People in their 30s, can we, if you have a family and children and a full-time job and all that kind of stuff, and oh, by the way, you're trying to get this content creation platform off the ground, which is, let's face it, a second job.
Yeah, no shit.
right? Too real. I know. Sorry. Can we? Does it even make sense for us to play those games? Do we even give a shit anymore?
Yeah, why even buy them? And overall, I know what you're saying, and I agree. And I would dare say that if Apex hadn't been free, I would
never have bought that game in a million years. Hell no.
And so
I
I
don't think a lot of people would have.
I'm gonna throw Remy under the bus real quick. Everyone get on board. So
Great. Looking forward to that.
when Fortnite first came out, he talked me into it. It was free. I mean, and we had fun. And we played it.
All right. I know where this is going.
Yeah, you do. Okay, so we played it, and for the first 4 or 5, I think, Remy, right, gaming sessions, I didn't even get a kill, but it was fun. We were having fun, sort of, and it was what it was. And then he goes, John, you know what else is coming out? PUBG. And I said, really?
Oh God.
Yep.
And he said, yeah, man, dude, it's
Guilty
going
as
to be
charged.
awesome. We're going to stream it. It's just like Fortnite, but it's better. It's cooler. It's got more stuff. And I said, oh, man, is it free too? And he says, no. It's $30.
It's
Cool.
$15. Fuck off.
Well, whatever it
15.
was.
15 now.
It's I think it was 30
15
then.
when it first came
I
out.
think it was 30 when I bought it. Regardless of the number could have been $1, and I still would be this pissed about it. So I'm still going to finish my story. Okay, I'm going to say it's $30 because that's what my memory says, and I'm weird about my money, so I think it was $30. Regardless, I spent the money.
Fair enough.
We downloaded it, we loaded in, and we streamed it. And it was the worst fucking game that I've ever played. It was so glitchy.
Yeah, that was pretty
the
trash.
controls didn't work. I couldn't see anybody. I didn't get any kills.
Yeah.
I didn't have any fun. And if you were to ask me how many times I've played it since then, I bet you can guess. The answer is 0.
No, that's not true. That's not true. You played with SSG.
No, sir, I
One
did
time.
not. I signed up to
Okay.
play with
Oh,
SSG.
no, he didn't. I specifically remember him saying, "Fuck that! I'm not doing." that."
No. Stick with me. I did sign up to play with SSG. I said, you know what? It's been several months. I already bought it. What's it gonna hurt? These are my fellow clanmates that I've played with. Some of them for years. Remy, over a decade at this point, right?
Yep.
And so I said, sure, I'll do it. So I downloaded it back to my Xbox and I loaded it up. And every time I tried to join their lobby, it would get stuck on the loading string and kick me back to the dashboard. I tried.
That's right. I remember that.
I tried
remember
deleting
that.
it from my Xbox and reinstalling. I tried hard resetting my internet. I tried hard resetting my Xbox. And now I have deleted it, and it never will come back onto my Xbox again. I don't give a shit if there's $1 billion sweepstakes tied to it. It's not coming back on here. Okay?
John, when we finally meet in person, this is what's going to happen. I'm buying you $30 worth of shots.
This is going to be the weirdest exchange of goods and services when we see each other.
We walk up to the bartender like this. I owe this man for PUBG. Pour up.
It's just going to be us buying drinks to make up for pressuring each other into buying shit we haven't liked.
I
So
do not owe you for GTA because you haven't given it a fair shake.
No. I
Yeah,
enjoy.
I
Hey,
don't know
no.
you for-
I enjoy GTA.
No, he's talking to me. He's
Oh,
talking
he
to
said
me.
Mike.
I'm talking
He said
to
Mike.
Mike. I'm
Oh,
talking
sorry.
to Mike.
Yeah,
Excuse
and
me,
I
excuse
don't
me.
know you for Divinity because you didn't give that a fair shake either. So fuck off.
I gave it
All
a fair
right?
shake, and that was $60, you bastard.
Oh, whatever. You didn't give it a fair shake at all. You went in deciding you were going to
God.
hate it, just like
I
I did with
hated
GTA.
that
You were
game.
equally as guilty
Oh,
of
it
this
was
as I am. I don't want to
terrible.
hear any of your shit.
I want everyone to
absolutely
remember
crap.
that we're all
Joining
friends
us. I
here,
hope you, have
and
a
we're gonna bro hug after this.
evening, and,
We're going to have an epic fight about this at the LAN.
sorry,
can't
I just
fucking
like the
wait.
idea
It's
of
gonna be
closing out the
so great.
podcast while mom and dad fight in the background.
But no, the reason, no, it's all in love. It's all in love. We've all wasted money
Oh,
on stupider
absolutely.
shit than this. I assure you.
Oh, fuck yeah. 100%.
I would much rather. But by the way, one other quick thing about Realms. Like I spent $25 on that game. I bought a Founders Pack and I bought a Battle Pass, and I zero regrets. Like absolutely money well spent. Like
Nice.
that game is so much fun. I do not mind at all throwing high res $25. I've easily had $25 worth of fun in the 6 hours I've spent in that
No,
game. Hands
High
down.
Res. High Res. Is that the same company that is doing all the Switch ports?
They did some of them, I think.
I thought they did
It's-
Doom, right?
I think so. Yeah. It's
Okay.
Wait,
so
Doom 2016 is on
Realms
the
came out
Switch?
of
Yeah.
Realms came out of
What?
Paladins. You know Paladins?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Realm Royale came out of Paladins. It's
Oh, okay.
The guys who did that.
Interesting.
The wannabe Overwatch / Battleborn, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay.
But this spin on it is really really good. The other one that I'm really looking forward to, and shout out to my boy Kamer in our glitch army. I love that guy. He's awesome. Is sort of got me back interested in Spellbreak, which is coming out pretty soon. It's in alpha. I got into the pre-alpha for it. I'm firing that up again. It's all magey and lightning bolts and fireballs and poison clouds and
Right up
boulders
your
flying
alley.
around. Oh, it's so in my wheelhouse.
These are a
looks
few
like-
of Mike's
it looks-
favorite things.
Yes, it looks like
These are a
Zelda
few
Breath.
of Mike's favorite
things. It looks like Zelda Breath of the Wild meets Realm Royale meets like Final Fantasy and a bunch of other crazy shit. Like,
Nice.
I'm in.
Well, you only have to hope, Mike, that everyone doesn't jump on board with that like they have on some of these other ones, or you're just going to get thirsted in that game too.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, I mean, you know what? As of right now, I haven't spent any money on it.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm not going to get all butthurt, you know, if something like, you know, if I don't want to start talking about this right now, but like as much time as let me say this really quickly about the amount of time we spent on the Anthem last podcast. We should not have.
I knew it. I knew it.
Well, no, not for all the reasons that are floating around out on the interwebs.
Mhm.
Mechanically, that game is still fun. I stand by everything I said in the last podcast.
But it's got no legs, right?
I can't even say that. All I can say is, it didn't hook me.
Oh, okay.
It didn't
All
hook me. It had me for about, a week. And after that,
Wow.
I was just like, other stuff for no reason other than there's not a good enough reason to keep going back.
Fair enough.
Yep. Really, that's a game that needs to be played with friends. And if you don't play it with friends, then don't,
Yeah.
because it won't hook you.
Fair enough. Well, on that note, we should probably call it a night.
Cue music.
We should.
All
Theme
right.
music.
Yeah. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so
Yep.
much for watching, or listening, rather. And catch us on Discord, and all the links are in the description, and we'll catch you guys later.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Hey folks, thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed. If you did, do us a favor and hit that sub button and ring that little bell. You can always catch us here on Twitch and Discord. All the links are in the description, and we will catch you next time.